Let me guess. You've watched 100 dating videos just like this one, and you still haven't approached any girls. Listen, bro, when are you going to decide that it's time to change? When are you going to stop sitting around waiting for your dream girl that you want, and more importantly, your confidence to just come to you? Now, in this video, I'm going to explain why it is that you're stuck just sitting on the sidelines year after year after year, hoping for something to change. And I'll be honest, bro, this isn't going to be some super over the top, dopamine intensive video. It's going to be me just talking to the camera for 20, 30 minutes and just downloading what I've learned from the past 10 years of diving deep into psychology and the science of attraction and doing hundreds of approaches myself. I'm going to just download all of what I've learned into your brain for free in 20 to 30 minutes. But please listen. Like, again, it's not some dopamine intense video. So like if you're looking for just a quick rush of fun, I'm not your guy. But if you're the kind of guy who's 25, 30, 35 and crushing it in your career and wanting to get that same level of success in your dating life, well, then stick around. Okay. Now, first and foremost, who am I? My name is Alan Woods. I'm not going to bore you with all the details. I am dating my dream girl. Before I met her, I had a complete abundance in my life of other women. Again, I hate to boast, but I've mastered dating apps. I approached 17 girls yesterday just to get some coaching content for my clients. I've got the stuff down to a science. And again, ego aside, I'm just saying this because I know that you won't trust me until you know what I've done. And this is all coming from a background of a couple years ago. I was terrified of approaching women. Terrified. Like, I moved to Tempe, Arizona back in 2022. And the reason why I moved was because for most of my young life, I had no success with women. And I wanted to be in a town where there's just beautiful girls everywhere. So I moved there. And lo and behold, I arrive in Tempe and I am too scared to talk to anybody. Terrified. And so I've seen what it's like to just go through life confused and scared and lonely and having this deep desire in your heart to be a man of confidence and a man of boldness, but never living it out. And so in this video, I'm going to explain how to overcome that. Okay? Now, the first thing that we need to talk about, and we're going to cover a lot in this video, so please have your notebook ready and have your notebook, have your pen, be ready to go, because we're going to dive deep. This is some high level stuff. It's not for everybody, but if you really begin to understand this stuff, it will change your life. And by the way, I dive much deeper into this identity level work in my course, which is in the link down in my bio. Check it out if you want to. But let's dive in. So the first thing to understand here is how your identity is formed, how your beliefs are formed. Because what most men don't realize as they're going through this process, I've coached a lot of men in this area, and they try to focus on the tip of the iceberg. Now, you have to imagine like your life as a whole as a big iceberg, and the behaviors that you're doing and the results that you're getting at the very top of that iceberg, that is just the very top. Okay? Now, if you go down lower into the iceberg, well, so layer by layer, down here we have your identity and your beliefs. Then we have your thoughts. Then we have your habits. Then we have your actions. And then we have your results. So the top two layers is your actions and your results. But you can't fix the actions and the results without addressing everything else that's way down lower. Okay? So that's the fundamental thing to understand here, is that you can't just start going out and saying, "Oh, I'm going to approach 10 girls. I'm going to be more confident." No, that's not how it works, brother. If you try to fix the tip of the iceberg without addressing the deeper rooted beliefs and the deeper rooted identity, then you're going to stay stuck. Nothing's going to change. And what might that look like? Well, it might look like a guy saying, "Oh, fake it till you make it." Just act confident. Or I'll just go out and approach 3 girls today. Like these things don't work because again, you're addressing only the top layer of your behavior, but you're not addressing anything else that's down below. It's like telling it's like telling someone to just who's never trained in basketball to shoot a three-pointer and make it 10 times in a row. They haven't built the skill set to do that. They haven't built the identity to do that. It's not ingrained in them. That's not who they are. There's a misalignment between who they are and what they're trying to do. And when you have your motivations and the systems of who you are, well, motivation is cool, but your systems are going to win every single time. And if your systems are built around years or decades of you existing in life as a lonely, unconfident man who never approaches and is scared to talk to women, those systems, those negative systems, are going to win. Okay? Now, the question then becomes, okay, if we know that we can't just magically change our beliefs, or we can't change our actions at the top level, we have to go down to the deeper levels. Well, first and foremost, where do those beliefs come from? Where does that identity come from? But secondly, once we know where it comes from, how can we begin to change it? And a lot of what I'm going to talk about next, it's not my original thought. I've adopted a lot of this from cognitive behavioral therapy, from the science of cognition, from psychology. I've extracted information from a lot of different domains here. But the core principle here is that even if you feel like you have this specific identity about yourself and you're just trapped in your ways and you're introverted and you're not the most bold guy out there and you're not too charismatic, if you feel like that's who you are, well, the fact of the matter is that who you are is flexible. You're not trapped where you are. And this isn't me just trying to give you some hype, rah motivation. It's the facts of what the neuroscience shows. What do I mean by that? Well, the fact of the matter is that your beliefs and your identity, they're not just some woo-woo magic that just magically popped into your mind. No, who you are, first of all, who you are doesn't exist because you is just, it's a non-existent encapsulation of your past experiences, your past thoughts, and your replays and memories of those thoughts and experiences in your head. It doesn't actually exist. Okay? It's literally just a collection of neural wirings and neurotransmitters that are just and neurochemicals just going through your brain. Like that's all that you are. And the reason why this is important is because if we know that you doesn't really exist, you doesn't exist, well, then we know that you can change. And why that's powerful for dating and for building confidence is that if you have this idea deep in your mind that you cannot approach women and you are unconfident and you are not charismatic and you are XYZ, whatever else negative beliefs you have in your mind about you, well, you aren't you and you can change. So how do we do that? Well, the key principle here is that imagine your beliefs and your identity as a sort of, imagine there's 2 buckets, okay? And in between those buckets, there's a lever and there's a pole attaching those 2 buckets, okay? So there's a pole here, bucket on this side, bucket on this side. And so imagine that ever since you were first born, there has been a slow and steady drip of water into each of those buckets, okay? In every area of your life. And so whenever you have a bad experience in an area, well, water begins to drip into one of those buckets, into the negative bucket. So what might that be? Well, maybe you went and said hi to a girl at preschool and she ignored you. Okay, well that's a bad experience. Bad experience. Lots of water being dumped into there. And then maybe you didn't have the most friends when you were in elementary school. So that's more bad experiences just weighing down that bucket. Maybe you had maybe your parents weren't around. Maybe you didn't have a masculine male role model. So you always never really knew exactly how to behave around the opposite sex. Okay, more negative water being poured into that bucket. Boom, boom, boom. And so the thing to notice here is that, okay, we have these two buckets connected by this pole, and how your identity begins to be formed is early on in life. The more water is being poured into each bucket, well, the more weighed down that side becomes. So if early on in life you're just constantly pouring water, 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 all this negative water into that negative side of the bucket, well then that's going to become your identity. And the thing to notice here as well is that it's not the water in those buckets, it's not only formed by your experiences. Okay? This is a key part that a lot of people don't understand. It's not just about your experiences. Because maybe you only had one negative experience when you were young. Maybe there was one experience where you had a girl who rejected you in a super rude way when you were 5, 6, or 7, or maybe even 10, 11, 12, 15. And you don't even consciously think about it now, but you've been kind of a little bit closed off and a little bit closed off towards women ever since then. It's not that you had a billion negative experiences with women. No. The fact here is that the same way that an actual real life experience adds negative water to that bucket, well, so does replaying that experience in your mind. So if you've had this negative experience 5, 10, 20 years ago, but you replayed it in your mind 1,000 times since then, well, it's not just one negative droplet of water in that bucket. No, it's 1,001 negative droplets of water in that bucket. And so your identity is now formed off of negative visualizations. Like it's not even real anymore. It's literally just this thought in your mind. And again, this isn't just some theory that I'm making up. This is literally what the neuroscience shows, what the studies show, what the research shows. And if you've read Psycho-Cybernetics, that book also talks about the power of visualization. And I hate a lot of visualization nowadays and affirmations, and a lot of that stuff is kind of woo-woo and silliness. But the truth here is that the more emotionally charged an experience is, well, then the more it's going to add into those buckets. So if you had a super negative experience relating to women or relating to dating when you were young, well, then that is going to just dive deep into your identity at a core level. And now, 10, 20 years later, you'll be looking back and you won't even necessarily know exactly why you feel unconfident around women, why you're afraid to approach women. And it all links back to those experiences 5, 10, 20 years ago. Okay? Like, nobody is just naturally unconfident. Nobody's just naturally confident. It's simply the culmination of either years and years of positive inputs or years and years of negative inputs. And so the next question has to become, Okay, well, if I know that who I am and how I perceive myself is simply a result of those inputs, well, how can I begin to change those in my favor? Because, okay, yes, it sucks that you were put into this situation where you're now unconfident because of things that you had no control over in your past. It sucks. And I've been there, bro. Again, I was stuck in that place for years and years and years in my life. It's not fun. It's not. It really sucks. It truly does. But we have to take control back. Like, you're not the type of man who's just going to sit around and give up. Like, you're attacking hard in your career. You're working hard in the gym. You're trying to become a better man. So you're not gonna work so hard in every single other area, and then when it comes to dating, just say, "Oh yeah, I'm just stuck as I am." That's bullshit. It's softness. It's weakness. And so we have to ask the question of how do we begin to fix this? How can we change? How can we guide things in a more beneficial manner for our ideal outcome? And again, if you're watching this like this long, you clearly want to, transform your dating life. I give a step-by-step protocol for fixing these beliefs in my course, which is all down below. It's a like step-by-step, literally just install these things into your life protocol. Very simple. If you want to delete all of the confusion and all the guesswork, check that out. But in the meantime, to begin building a new identity, to begin building this new belief system, what we have to do is it's quite simple. We have to build a bridge from where we're currently at to where we ideally want to get to. Okay? So you have to spend some time identifying what are my beliefs right now in the realm of dating. What do I believe? Is my current self perception that I'm not good enough, that women don't like me, that I can't keep great women, that maybe I don't even deserve great women? Is that my perception of myself? And again, these things might sound harsh, but what I've noticed after coaching so many men in this area is that like we oftentimes try to blind ourselves from these beliefs because they're very painful to face. And so like when I say things like I'm not good enough or women don't like me or I can't keep great women or I'm not that exciting or I'm not charismatic, at 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 first thought those might not seem like they fit your situation. But really think about them. Because most men, truly most men, they have these beliefs existing on some level. Okay, so really sit down and think like, what are my core beliefs when it comes to the area of dating? Because if we're trying to like one thing that I've realized over time is that like as we're bridging to any new level in life, what we're bridging is not between where we're currently at and what our ideal end goal is. Like yes, that's what we want, but that's not what the gap is. The gap is the bridge between who you are and what your beliefs currently are and who you're going to become and what those beliefs will be that will get you there. Because again, like our actions create our results and our thoughts create our actions and our beliefs create our thoughts. So if we want to change our actions and our results, well, we have to change the beliefs and the thoughts. Okay? So stay with me here. If we want to change those beliefs and those thoughts, we have to first identify who the enemy is. You can't shoot a target that's non-existent. You can't shoot a target that you haven't identified yet. So you have to sit down and ask, okay, who am I? What are my core beliefs in the area of dating? And bro, like genuinely sit down for 10, 20, 30, 45 minutes just diving deep into these. Because again, like if you're truly trying to find an amazing girl to add into your life and have a family with her and like be the confident man to lead her, Well, then, number one, you're not going to get her if you're not confident. You don't even know what your beliefs are. But number two, you're not going to lead her the right way if you don't even know who you are on a core level. So, like, for your future family, for your future wife, and for having the best chances of getting her in the first place, you need to know yourself, brother. So do that exercise. And then, secondly, from there is ask, okay, now that I figured out who I currently am, how do I get to where I need to go? What is the belief, the belief system that will bridge me to that next level? What core set of beliefs do I need to have in order to have my dream girl, in order to get my dream girl? Because, excuse the directness here, but if you don't have the abundance that you want in your dating life and you don't have your dream girl yet, it's nobody else's fault except for your own. Nobody's. And it's nobody else's responsibility to fix it except your own. So again, you have to ask, who do I need to become to get that outcome? Maybe right now your belief system is, I'm not good enough. I have to perform in order to attract women who I actually want. I have to put on a show. And maybe you need to bridge that gap to switch to a belief system along the lines of, I am good enough. Women like me as I am. Not all of them, but the ones who I actually want to bring into my life. They like me when I show my genuine self. Maybe that needs to become your next belief. But if you are going into the game of dating without even having addressed what your starting belief is, well, then you're going to be caught in this never-ending spinning hamster wheel, because you're going to be trying these new actions, approaching girls, teasing, negging, giving compliments, taking them on. You're going to be trying all these different things, all these tactics, without addressing the root, which is your beliefs and your identity. And this is why I see so many guys who join all these coaching programs and buy all these courses and do XYZ, all these different things. And they either get no results or get results for a little bit and then come crashing back down to earth. Okay? So the first step is to, again, figure out what your current belief system is, what beliefs you want to build, and then from there, begin pursuing evidence of that new belief system. Begin pursuing evidence of the direction you're moving into. Okay? And you can't go from, like, the key here too as well, which a lot of guys mess this up. So please pay attention. Like, the key here too is that you can't go from 0 to 100 overnight. And I don't mean this like in some like modern day, like, 0 to 100 real quick. No, I don't mean in that sense. I mean in the sense of, like, on a neural level, our brain is going to reject any actions or any affirmations or any visualizations that are outside of our current identity. Okay? Let me repeat that in a more simple way. If you have your current identity telling you, oh, Alan, you're not good enough. Oh, Alan, girls don't like you. If that's your current identity, your current beliefs, and you're trying to build evidence of your changed belief and your changed identity by going out and approaching 5 girls a day, or by repeating all these visualizations in your head, it's not going to work, because the gap between who you believe you are and who you're trying to say you are is too big. It's too vast. The brain needs to have these small bridges, not these massive leaps. No, these small neural bridges. Because again, our neural wiring, it takes time to shift. If you've built up 20, 30 years of neural pathways, over your life so far, doesn't it seem a little bit short-sighted to assume that you can fix all of that like that? It takes time. Okay. So that's the key there is you have to take your time with these things. But the second thing that I want to talk about too is like so many guys they're afraid of they're afraid that the world is going to confirm the scariest thought of all. Like the reason why you're not approaching isn't just because you don't want to approach. It's because you're worried that the world is going to confirm that you're not attractive enough, that you're not good enough, that women don't want you. All of these deep, deep fears that exist deep in your psyche, that have existed for decades in your psyche, you don't want to face those. You're scared to face those. And that's why you just swipe all day on the apps. Swipe, 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 swipe. Not all day. You have your career. You're working on that. I'll give you the benefit. Like I'll give you that. You are working. But that's why you see beautiful girls all the time. You never talk to them. You see them everywhere, but you say nothing. And like when you were 17, 18, 15, 14, and you were looking into the future, you didn't see yourself just being sat on the sidelines. You knew that there was more for you. And now that you're 26, 30, 35, it's been so long and life has gotten you so jaded and you've been rejected so many times and you've had so many short-term annoying flings and matches that go nowhere, and you're just kind of jaded now. And you're starting to, on a deeply subconscious level, wonder if dating is even worth it and if you're good enough. And continuing to swipe is a lot easier than going out and talking to beautiful girls in real life and having to face the reality that maybe you're not good enough. It's a scary thought, man. And I know because I've been there myself. Like I used to have these thoughts all the time. And the beautiful thing is like it's a blessing and a curse. Like it really is a blessing and a curse. And I say that because as you go out and talk to women in person, one of two things will happen. Either they'll like you and your dating life will be transformed like that, and you'll realize that there was no reason to have been scared in the first place because women are just normal humans just like you and they want to be talked to and they want to have love stories too and they get horny too and they want to connect. That's option one, is that you go out there and you talk to them and your dating life immediately transforms forever. And that's quite a likely option, especially if you do it more than once. It's very likely. I'll tell you that, brother. But the second option, which is the slightly darker option, but it's still powerful nonetheless. The second option is that you go out and you talk to them and you get rejected and you get rejected and you get rejected. And you realize that in your current version, you're not good enough. It's a scary thought. It's a dark thought. But the power of that is that if you realize that there is a hole in your boat while you're still close to the shore, well, then you can just go back to the shore and patch it up. And sure, you wasted a little bit of time, but your boat doesn't sink, you don't die. Whereas if you just blindly row out to the ocean and you're ignoring, you have no situational awareness, you don't notice the water in your boat, and you're just rowing. Well, now you're 100 miles out into the ocean, and now you see the massive leak in your ship, and you drown out there all alone. How does this carry over into dating? Well, it's very simple. Most men are going out into life and they're just dumping their heads into the sand. They're terrified. They don't ever approach. They're just blinding themselves. And so they don't know if there's a problem. They don't know if there's a leak in their boat. And so the second part of that analogy, when they're going out into the ocean and just drowning, is I've talked to a lot of guys who are 40, 50, 60, still alone, still lonely, and they're so sad that they didn't fix this area of their life sooner. I see it every day, bro. Like it's the saddest thing in the world. So my point is that yes, if you go out and you face the fear of talking to women and possibly realizing that you're not getting the best market feedback in your current version, yes, that sucks, but it's a lot better than reaching 50, 60, 70, not having a wife, not having kids, having lived this entire life alone. It's a lot better than that, bro. I promise you. It really is. And so the beautiful thing about getting that market feedback by talking to women and seeing if they like you is that, again, there's two possible outcomes. Either they like you or they don't. And if they don't like you, well, then there are so many things that any man can do to improve his results when it comes to in-person conversations and in-person approaches. What are those things? Well, one of the biggest things that's a little bit abstract is getting a bit more clear on your mission and your purpose in this world. Again, I said it's a bit more abstract, but why this is important is because so many men go into both their relationships, but also even their approaches with this ungrounded energy. They talk to the girl and they're just nervous and fluttering around like a butterfly and trying to appeal to her emotions and trying to be perfect for her. No. It's just pure approval seeking. Oh, do you like this, Missy? No, you don't? Okay, me neither. I'm sorry. Oh, you're attracted. Oh, no, I can't say she's attractive. That's weird. It's just, they're not embracing their masculine sense of direction and masculine groundedness. And so why is this a problem? And why is it so powerful to have a sense of mission? And how does that help with your in-person approaches? Well, why it's powerful is because the essence of the masculine imperative is to push in a specific direction. The masculine essence is the pursuit of some direction or some goal, some drive. And the feminine essence is to receive that masculine direction and to nurture it. Okay? And so the issue arises when the man has no direction, when the man has no mission, no purpose. Well, there's nothing for the woman to get attached to. And beyond that, when the man has no mission and no purpose, well, the man becomes ungrounded. He seeks her approval. He's constantly trying to make her happy. And on a deeper level, on a subconscious level, when a man with no sense of direction and no purpose in his life, even in a cold approach, when he's talking to a woman, well, she's going to feel that something is off in his energy. So, again, if you are going into the market and you're not getting received well by women, well, then improve your sense of mission and direction in life. Okay? But secondly, improve your looks. Simple. Improve your fashion, go to the gym, do some grooming. Don't have a crazy long beard that looks rough and nasty. Improve how you look. And most guys, and I know this because I have taken many, many guys through my looks maxing process. Not because I want to appeal too much to vanity, but because of the fact that the truth of the matter is that our looks are kind of like the oil or the lubricant in the machine of dating. Okay? And when you look good, everything flows more smoothly. Your results on dating apps flow more smoothly. Your results with in-person approaches flow more smoothly. Your results in being able to retain the right woman flow more smoothly. When you look good, it makes everything within the dating system more smooth. So it's worth investing a little bit of time into. Again, like the goal isn't to become some pretty boy 10 out of 10 model. It's just to look decent enough to not have to deal with BS. It's simple. So again, getting clear on your mission, improving your looks. Those are two quick wins that any guy can do to improve their results when it comes to in-person approaches. And a third thing with in-person approaches is not being so, what's the best way to frame it? It's adding a little bit of edge into your conversations when you're doing approaches. Not asking so many logical questions, not agreeing with her so much. No, poking at her a little bit. Accusing her of flirting with you. Saying that she's not the right girl for you. Like doing these little things that make her question, like, okay, well, this guy came up to approach me, but now he's like kind of rejecting me and I'm a little bit confused and I'm really intrigued. Like, you got to give her in a genuine way that's not like pickup artist-esque. Just give her a little bit of fun. Inject some fun into her life. Don't be so stale and monotone. Oh, how's your day going? Oh, yeah, cool. No, like unlock your masculine edge a little bit. Have a little bit of sharpness about you, man. So those are some things that'll quickly improve your in-person results. But again, going back to the main topic at hand here, which is why are you not confident enough to approach women? The answer is simple. It's because early on in your life, you were given too much evidence of why you weren't a confident man, why you weren't good with girls. And then you replayed those things time and time and time again in your mind for the last decades. And from there, well, your neural wiring was formed based off of you constantly replaying those things in your mind. And then to add to that, well, again, the water scale from earlier, it's built off of evidence in the form of actions and replays of those actions. And so not only were those early on actions in your life bad, but now you're reinforcing that with more negative actions now. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is very simple. Every time you see a beautiful girl walking by and you want to talk to her, but you don't say a word, well, neurologically, you're dropping more water into that negative bucket. You're reinforcing the identity of the man who you don't want to become. The beliefs of the man who's afraid. That's what you're reinforcing. Okay. And so the way to begin shifting all of this is quite simple. Like I said earlier, you have to identify what your current belief is, identify where you want to get to, and then begin building evidence every single day. And again, the change won't happen overnight. It's going to take months, possibly even years. But it's the most worthwhile and fulfilling journey in this world. Because it's something that doesn't just stop in dating. This process is something that carries over into every area of life. Because how we do one thing is how we do everything. And if you're scared and afraid in dating, in one of the most important, fulfilling areas of life, do you really think that you're giving your best in any other area? Truly? I'll tell you, you're not. Because I've been there. And I know for a fact that when I was not unlocked in dating, unlocked in my confidence, unlocked in my self-belief, I wasn't unlocked in my business, in my career, in my social life, in leading my family and my friends. Like it's all connected. Okay. So that's really the high level philosophy behind fixing all of this. Again, completely science-based. It's a very simple process for fixing it. Simple, not easy. And I just wanted to put this out there for guys who are, a couple years behind me who want to fix this, because it can be fixed. Like you're not stuck, man. If you're dealing with rejection and fear and approach anxiety and sitting on the sidelines when you see these beautiful girls walking by, like you don't have to do that, bro. You don't have to be stuck there. So again, if you apply this stuff, this video will change your life. I promise you that. But to take it a step further, if you truly want to change your life and you want to cut out the guesswork and you're tired of the fluff and wasting years spinning around on this hamster wheel, well, the fact of the matter is that you can do this on your own, 1,000%. But if you could just press a button and have this area of your life fixed forever, I mean, that would definitely be worth a couple $100. So I actually provide a step-by-step protocol for fixing all of this in my program down below. It's my step-by-step protocol for fixing your approach anxiety, for fixing your dating app presence, and for just like 10x in your dating life in 30 days. I wish I would have had it 5-6 years ago. It would have saved me years of heartache and loneliness and annoyance and everything else. So if you want to guarantee the change in your life and have this fixed forever, click the link down below in my bio. But regardless, please apply this stuff because it will change your life. All right, brother. God bless. Godspeed. Until next time.